Hey everybody, this is Christian and my friend Thad. For those of you who might not know, my name is Christian. Together with my wife Sonica, we produce and lead relationship workshops. And the one we're talking about specifically today is called Give Yourself to Love. It's our introduction weekend for couples and singles. And Thad here, who has so graciously come over to let us talk to him about his experience. Thad, I'll let you talk in a moment, but Thad came to our workshop with his wife Charlene, and they happen to live close by here. So Thad came over, and if you're wondering if I bribed him with anything for about what he's about to say, it's yeah, I gave him a really good cup of latte, and that's how we deal with payment here. So thanks for coming, Thad. And if you hear any noise in the background, that is Thad's son is here, Kieran. You might see him pop in here as well. So Thad, yes, hang on a second. I'm just gonna ask your dad a question, okay? And we'll see how it goes. So we'll see how it goes for you, friends, okay? What inspired you and Charlene to originally come to Give Yourself to Love?
Charlene had a colleague who her and her husband had participated, and we felt like we were new parents a couple years after we had been married, and that changed our marriage a lot, and we felt like we could use we felt like we could use a way to kind of improve our communication and kind of improve our ability to connect with each other in the presence of our newfound family members.
Yeah.
And we just needed to figure out a better way to communicate with each other and to be with each other and to support each other.
Yeah, very cool. And what would you say? What have the biggest things been that you've gotten out of that, or that you got out of that and have been using?
Well, I think some of the biggest things that we got out of Give Yourself to Love was the ability to look at the times when we were feeling stressed or triggered with our communication with each other, and notice that objectively and use some of the tools that you guys taught us to change our stories about that. And it helps us to look at those kind of situations from our partner's standpoint, through their lens. And that really is a great tool in helping us to work hard to communicate better together.
Yeah, very cool. And I imagine that would have been relevant too, given that I know you have two young children, one of whom we can hear in the background here. I just know that's often a high stress environment.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. With that added stress of parenting, and especially with the small children, having really changed the dynamic of the household, we really needed a better way to view each other's communication in the presence of those additional stressors, and it really changed our relationship for the better.
I know. I remember your wife shared once that one of the communication techniques we teach there. I remember she sent us an email that said something to the effect of, "Wow, that's amazing. I just used this technique with our 3-year-old daughter while she was having a tantrum.
Yeah.
And I didn't even get to thank her before she went off and did the thing I wanted her to do."
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a very good point. We I was focused a second ago on the fact that it changed the way we communicated with each other, but it also changed the way we communicated and perceived the communications of our children and our parents and our coworkers. And so it just kind of was able to really change the way, change the stress level in communications with all of us. So it really helped us a lot. And the way that those tools work with our children is really fantastic.
Yeah, great. Here, just go ahead and look at the camera. I know since you and I are here next to each other, we're also going to be connecting with everybody out there. We're talking to Thad Houston, who came to our workshop, Give Yourself to Love, and we're prompted by that. We have our workshop coming up here this next weekend. I'll put the link to it in one of the comments. There's something else I'm curious about. It's a thing we often hear in our world. Is is that guys don't want to do this kind of stuff. Guys don't want to come to a workshop, and obviously you're proof that that's not always true, but it's something that's often heard. So, I just wonder what it was like for you as a man to step into that kind of environment, and how was it different to step into this workshop environment that we create?
Yeah, that definitely was true for me to some degree. When Charlene first proposed this to me, I kind of...
Here, hang on a second. We'll bring Kira on here. Do you want to say hi to everybody out there? You can't see them, but they can see you.
Hi.
Hi.
Kristen, what's your middle name?
Why don't I tell you after? I'm just going to let your dad talk for a little bit.
Do you want to watch us for just a minute while we talk? All right. Watch the camera.
See, is your dad up there? I just asked him a question. Now he's going to answer it.
So, yeah, when Charlene first proposed going to Give Yourself to Love, I didn't really know what to think. I thought that it wasn't something that I didn't understand what its value would be and like how it would affect our relationship. So I was a little bit skeptical, but I also knew at that point she was a relatively new mom. She had gone through, she was in a new career and a new mom, and she was going through a really stressful part of her life because of those two things. And so I knew that stress level was affecting our relationship, and it hadn't really occurred to me that I might have the power to positively affect her stress level in those things, and that learning these tools would help that. But it definitely did. I think that it really helped us, like I said, not only with ourselves, but also in talking with some of the people that we interacted with at work, whether that was customers or colleagues or things like that. And so it was pretty clear to me immediately following the Give Yourself to Love weekend that the tools were super valuable in all my interpersonal relationships.
Yeah, that's cool. I know your wife has said something to the similar. Thad's wife, Charlene, is a doctor and sees lots of people all throughout. I know she's mentioned that she's using that with all of them.
Yeah, that I'm sure that that's true for her.
Yeah.
It's totally invaluable for her in her day-to-day interactions.
Well, that's cool. So one more thing I'll ask you, and then we'll check off for today is, I know you've done some of our follow-up workshops after.
Right.
Like, what would you say have been some of the best results or impacts that's had, for yours and Charlene's relationship and your family and your life in general?
Really, I think the most valuable thing for me is there's kind of an underlying theme to all the workshops, to Give Yourself to Love and to all of the advanced workshops as well. And some of those tools are things that are, they're fantastic tools, but if you don't practice them on a regular basis, they're sometimes hard to just recall in an emotional moment. And I think that I found going to the other workshops, learning all the other tools, but also getting to practice the kind of the things that are part of the general overarching theme of all of them regularly helped me use them more often and more effectively on a day-to-day basis.
In a little bit, hang on a second, okay? We're almost done here.
Okay, I'm gonna look at it.
All right, sounds good. I sure love that you bring your boy
Yeah.
over. All right, thanks. Well, hey, one more thing. What would you say to another couple or another guy who's maybe in a similar situation? I know when you came, it's not like you were in a blowout crisis or anything.
Right.
And here you are still. What would you say to someone else who's sitting out there, might be wondering if this could be a good thing?
I would say that participating in the workshops has dramatically changed our relationship. I think it's dramatically changed the way that we communicate and the value. While I didn't perceive that value coming in, once we started, it was really easy to see, and it's made our marriage like so much more than I thought it could be, probably.
That's awesome. Hey, I appreciate that you were someone who would actually step into that.
Yeah.
And thanks for chatting with us today.
Of course.
It's awesome.
My pleasure.
Yeah, mine too. All right. See you, everybody. It's nice to have you with us. Till next time.